Happy Halloween! This is the Lost Boys bringing you your Vampire Halloween triple feature special. I'm X with your Gen X perspective.
I'm Z with your Gen Z perspective.
And tonight we have something special, and I'm not just talking about our look. We have three classic vampire films from the 80s, the 90s, and the early aughts, or the mid-aughts, I guess. And these are fun, amazing, great vampire movies. We're going to kick everything off with 2007's 30 Days of Night. This was a movie based on a comic series and brought to the big screen. It's an awesome concept. It has the idea that Barrow, Alaska, every year has the sun go down and stay down for 30 days. 30 days of darkness? Perfect for vampires. Oh, yeah. This movie stars Josh Hartnett, Melissa George, Ben Foster, and Danny Houston, among others. There's a long cast of people in here. It's lots of folks that you've seen, and they do a good job. We start off with the day that the sun goes down. Z, walk us through this.
So, the day the sun goes down, first of all, the protagonist is a cop, and we follow through his perspective pretty much throughout the story, and he meets this really creepy, grungy-looking guy, like not someone you'd want to hang out with on Friday night. You know what I mean? In any case, this guy's talking some schizo gibberish, and he sounds crazy, but it's saying they're coming for you, they're gonna get all y'all. It's like, okay, dude, you're doing good. Definitely didn't do a bunch of coke before that. Okay, we're doing good. So, moving on, he's talking about vampires, and of course, the cop doesn't know this. And by sundown, by the time everything is dark and very, very cold, because we're in the Arctic,
Barrow, Alaska.
Barrow, Alaska. By the time it's dark, the vampires come out, and they massacre this town.
It's glorious.
It is probably the best scene in the whole movie. The topographic view of the entire town just getting slaughtered by these vampires.
It's an awesome scene.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much where the movie begins to drag a little bit for me. After that scene, after that setup, this movie has some other elements and the pacing, on another note, that is questionable. It's, how long is this movie? 2 hours?
I didn't look. Standard 2 hour.
Standard 2 hour experience. Definitely probably didn't need to be 2 hours, in my opinion. It could have been a little less. There's some segments where I'm like, I'm really enjoying the 30 minutes of the attic scene, like we're hiding in the attic, but I would like a little bit more, a little bit more juice, a little bit more action. So that's what I've got. What else? What else about this movie? The vampires. What do we got?
So the vampires are solid. They're scary. They're vampiric-looking creatures, and they're made to be horror-oriented vampires. They're not human, basically, at all anymore. They don't speak.
Much more monstrous.
Yeah, human languages. They are definitely just blood-sucking machines. We watched this movie before the review. This was the last one that we watched before the review, and I have to say, I saw this one in the theaters back in 1912 when it came out, and it's I've seen it since then, but we rewatched it, and it's really stronger than I remembered it. The initial concept is great, that it's going to be 30 Days of Night. The kills are solid. There's a lot of blood, and you've got actors that are holding their own as far as moving the ball forward, keeping you engaged. I will say Z's perspective of once you get past that initial slaughter, now it turns into a survival story. That does drag, I have to admit. There are a lot of other things that this story could have done to avoid that, but there are too many scenes in the attic. There are too many what are we going to do scenes. And it gets a little, like, it pulls you out of the story a little bit because, they're hiding in an attic, and, the vampires that are all throughout the town, and it's not a large town, can't find them. I don't know about that. Anyhow, then we pick back up. They go for the ending where they don't have a choice what they're going to do. They got to make it to this one facility, and then I would say we're not going to spoil the ending. It's been 20 years almost. So
You've been
Josh
warned.
Hartnett, yeah, spoiler alert. He turns himself into a vampire so that he can fight back because they're not going to make it. And he wins by killing the leader. The rest of the vampires get freaked out, and the other townspeople start to take them out. And then it ends with the sun coming up and the main character dying because he's a vampire now. So, um, not the strongest ending, not the worst ending, kind of a cleanup because they got past their great concept, their initial like explosion of vampires everywhere, and then they didn't quite know how to wrap that up in movie form.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, but solid vampire movie. Vampires are good. Blood is good. It is not messing around. Nobody's thinking anything other than evil vampires in this one.
Correct.
Okay.
And just for the record, all of these movies, the three that we're reviewing today, they've all got something going for them, and I believe that they should be inspiration for new vampire movies,
Absolutely.
in my opinion, because there's a lack of vampire movies, a lack of good ones at that in today's day and age.
Yeah.
So getting a few that don't suck, that would be something.
Well, they do suck. Ah! I'll see myself out.
All right.
Moving on.
So,
we're going
moving
to
on.
jump back in time to 1996 and a little movie called From Dusk Till Dawn. Tell us about this movie.
Ooh, there's a lot to go into in this one. So it follows the protagonists. They are brothers, bank robbers, and it is George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino being the bank robber brothers. And
say that 10 times fast.
Exactly. They've just robbed a bank and are on the run and they're being chased down, and there's news like about them, breaking news, be on the lookout for these guys. So they're like, okay, we gotta go. So they're gonna cross the border to make it to Mexico. And they have to hitch a ride with a family who's going on vacation, I guess. And either way, they make it across the border and they end up in a bar that's called From Dusk Till Dawn.
That's not what the
That's
bar
not
is
the bar's
called.
name?
No.
What's the name of the bar?
The Titty Twister.
Titty Twister.
Yeah.
Oh, it's open from dusk till dawn. That's what I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Right, the Titty Twister. Titty Twisters. We're gonna.
Okay. Keep twisting.
Okay. So we make it across the border to Mexico, and we end up at a bar. And this bar, unbeknownst to them, the main characters, is ran by vampires. This is not very good for them. What do we have to say about the vampires and the set pieces?
So, this movie, I don't think this movie ever drags. This movie,
very engaged.
from the first scene onward, moves forward, and it turns into an escape movie, into a survival movie. Anyhow, I would say right to the point where we get to the bar, and then when the tension starts to build, because the vampires are coming, this is when everything takes off, and the set pieces are amazing. They have all sorts of different vampires. There's no one look. And they introduce the vampires, of course, with Salma Hayek coming out and doing her little dance. And
so many scenes in this movie.
So many scenes in this movie, yeah.
Never going to forget them.
And it's wild. Everyone turns into vampires, and then vampire slaying begins. So let's back up a minute, because you mentioned George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino.
Indeed.
We also have Harvey Keitel. We got Juliette Lewis. We've got Tom Savini, Fred Williamson. The list goes on and on and on.
But strong names. Strong.
Oh, great
cast.
actors. Cheech Marin plays 3 roles. Danny Trejo is in this. Special shout out to the house band, Tito and Tarantula. They do a great job. Just nonstop vampire action and lots of vampire kills, Lots of vampires killing humans, lots of humans killing vampires,
A lot of action.
and almost nobody makes it until dawn. Uh, two
figure.
two characters. George Clooney makes it. That's a shame. Um, but his
Wow.
stupid Caesar haircut that they tried to make happen.
It's not
But
as bad
no.
as the broccoli top, though.
That's true.
So,
That is true.
Got to give him points there,
Yeah,
at least.
exactly.
So,
And Juliette Lewis, who winds up stranded, but with a suitcase of cash. So there's
Indeed.
that. All right. So and a very very cool and famous ending where they show an aerial shot of the bar, but they show it from the back, and it turns out that it's an ancient Aztec pyramid. It's been mostly buried, but you can see the backside of it and the centuries worth of everything from buses to wagons to everything else of all the victims that they've taken, and it's a very fun ending, and a tremendously fun movie. Lots of
Worth
vampire
watching.
action, very evil vampires. Again, we're not getting any kind of good vampires in any of these three movies.
No, definitely not the friend vampire.
Yeah, no,
Definitely not your friend.
no sparkles,
No
none
sparkles.
whatsoever.
No
romance.
No, God. No. But on that note, this is definitely not a movie to watch with your folks on, Saturday night and you're looking for a family movie. Not the one.
No,
It's not the one.
not the one.
Not the one.
Okay, all right.
No.
Shout out to Gen Z.
I don't know.
Don't watch this with mom.
It's kind of something like you're going to bed. It's 9:30. You had a really long day. You were watching on your phone, and you're like, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that one." So definitely that kind of movie. Very fun, like you said. Vampires, very entertaining. Definitely not your friend. And once again, the idea of vampires where they go either really, really like deep or grim, like when different movies just across the board with vampires, just as a genre, they go in many different directions with, extremely grim or way too friendly. And it's like, or they're just kind of people with fangs. And it's like, come on, people. Like, what are we doing with vampires?
Full throttle vampires.
But
they're going to get you. You're not going to make it.
Serious vamps. And it's like, keep doing that. Keep doing that.
More movies like that.
My point.
Yeah, I will say that the inspiration for this triple vampire feature this year, we finally did get a good one. Sinners, you can see our review on that. Solid vampire movie. Very, very cool. Different than all of these three. But I digress because we've already reviewed that. Let's get to our third movie, The Lost Boys. We're jumping back another decade, 1987. This one's directed by Joel Schumacher. This is Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, Jamie Gertz, the two Coreys, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Diane Wiest, Edward Herrmann, Barnard Hughes, a whole bunch of other people. Great movie.
Strong cast, once again.
Strong cast, strong story.
Very strong plot.
I think out of all of these, we both agreed this one has the best plot, kind of the best pacing.
And might I add, this is definitely like, if you're thinking about an 80s movie, this is one of like the best 80s movies.
Quintessential 80s movie.
Opinion. It's like
also,
you think of the 80s, you think of this.
The best haircuts. Hands down. Yeah.
We digress.
Yeah, badly.
From the haircut.
We start off with a family, a mother and two sons, moving from somewhere to Santa Carla, California. And the guys, it's summertime. Both kids are going to start school again in the fall. And so they don't have long to kind of explore the town and find out what's going on before school starts again. So they do, and there's a beachfront theme park, which everyone knows about, this one now. Roller coasters, the famous carousel, all that good stuff. And they go and run afoul of a group of vampires. And then slowly the vampires recruit the older brother, Michael.
Join us, viewer.
And not the younger brother, Sam. But this movie never drags. This movie is very entertaining. And again, kind of has the strongest plot because the other two kind of tell you what they're about in the title. This
I
one,
think I know how long
you kind of
30 Days of Nights is going to be.
follow it. Yeah, exactly.
I think I know from whence we're going to start and end.
You're like 30 minutes per night. Like, what are we watching here? So we get great vampires, great vampire reveal. We get great makeup and
Fantastic
special
makeup.
effects. Yeah, these are probably the most classic looking vampires, I would say.
More than likely, out of
And
the three.
it's just everybody has seen this one by now. So we're not giving away the ending when we say that the vampires are defeated. Grandpa saves the day, and it really left a lot of room open for a sequel. And I don't know, like, why a sequel was never made here, but there was plenty. Well,
Potential.
okay, a real sequel, not the direct-to-video things that they made.
I don't even know about
So
that.
yeah, oh yeah, no, there's like,
Okay.
go to Walmart, look in the trash, and you'll see the Lost Boys
Okay.
sequels. Yeah.
All right. Gotcha.
Okay.
So, in any case, yes, very memorable characters, very memorable lines, scenes, vampires, all the good things.
Definitely
in
needs
this.
a sequel. we should write one and pitch one. Maybe we will. You never know.
Perhaps.
All of our spare time. Okay, so
in any case,
what were your what's Gen Z's takeaway for the Lost Boys?
So the Lost Boys, not only is it a good vampire movie, but just for my generation, we never really got to have like life in the 80s. I don't know.
That's true. You weren't
you know,
alive. In the
we
80s.
weren't alive. No, the whole point is, it's just kind of strange to think of a world where you could just kind of go out and see, see what's going on in your town. It's like, I don't know.
Hang out at an amusement park by yourself after dark.
Yeah, kidnapping people, flying with vampires. I don't know. No, it's more of a perspective for me, at least. How life
80s.
was versus how it is now, and it's just interesting. And I mean, you can see that with any movie, but I think this one highlights the '80s probably the best. And yeah, I found everybody, including actors, to do a fantastic job portraying each character. And I found, like you said, this movie doesn't drag. Its pacing is probably the best out of the three.
Yep.
And might I add, the ending is quite phenomenal.
Yeah,
I do love the set pieces and the way they ended it with the head vampire, and everything about it is pretty solid.
Yep.
It's all great. I'm never bored, very engaged. And that's the whole point of a good movie, right? To stay engaged, to have the suspense of disbelief.
Absolutely.
There's nothing pulling me out of this movie. So that's how I feel about the Lost Boys.
All right. So that's our Vampire Spectacular. This is X and Z wishing you a happy Halloween. And until we meet again,
good evening.